Welcome to Reflection Tuesday. I backpack when I can, and I'm often asked if I fear the wild animals, to which I reply, only the two-legged ones. I take precautions, carrying pepper spray, using a 5-foot wooden walking stick, wearing long pants and boots that extend above the ankle. And as I hike, I keep my eyes and ears open, knowing that I'm in the creature's territory. Taking precautions and staying alert is what Jesus instructs in Matthew chapter 24. After Jesus implied the temple's destruction, the disciples wanted signs to predict and so that they could be prepared. Jesus' answer is rather cryptic, not because he intended to keep followers in the dark, but he knew that an indefinite amount of time stood between that moment, the temple's destruction, and the end of time. Some of Matthew chapter 24, the details concerns the temple's destructions and how people need to prepare for it. Other sections of the chapter are about events related to Jesus' return and the end of time. Verse 36 looms large for any desiring to decipher the details of the end of time. And that verse says, "But of that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father alone." No one knows but the Father alone, despite the fact that verse 34 seemingly points to the completion of all of Matthew 24 within the lifetime of the original disciples. No one knows but the Father alone, despite the fact that the abomination of desolation mentioned in verse 15 seems to fit what the Romans did to the temple in 70 CE, that is, within our time period. You can find commentators and preachers who will link the details of Matthew 24 to current events, giving the impression that the return of Jesus will occur shortly or has already occurred. Again, no one knows but the Father alone. Biblical prophetic texts often have what I would call layers of fulfillment. One generation decides and declares that their time is the fulfillment period, only to have later generations repeat the same claim. Prior to Jesus' remarks in Matthew 24, many would have identified the abomination of desolation, which is mentioned in Daniel chapter 9, with the storming of the temple by Antiochus IV in 160 BCE. Now, of course, many think the temple's destruction in 70 CE is the event. Perhaps there's a greater abomination of desolation yet to arrive. What we do know for certain, according to Matthew 14, about the signs of Jesus' return, is chaos, suffering, wars, disaster, false messiahs, and the testing of God's people will occur. Now, these signs have ebbed and flowed ever since Jesus died. And instead of trying to pinpoint the events over which we have no control over, we ought to concentrate on being faithful, ready for Jesus' return, and never allowing the hell-bent ways of the world to lessen our resolve or compassion. Just as I stay alert and ready in the wild, we need to allow the signs to motivate us to readiness to be received by Jesus. In all my time in the wild, I have heard or seen signs of warnings from cougars, bears, moose, and rattlesnakes, but never have I been close to being attacked. So do not fret over the signs of Matthew 24 that seem so true to our own time. Just double up on your faithfulness, compassion to others, and your grip on Jesus. Until next time, God bless.